Alright, we have a quorum. We'll call the meeting to order at 6:01. First thing on the agenda is approval of the previous minutes from the regular board meeting on 4/14.
I will make the motion.
Second.
All right, Michelle made a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting on 4/14. Whitney seconded the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Next is to approve the minutes from the special meeting on 4/17.
Motion.
Second.
All right, Whitney made a motion to accept the minutes from the previous special meeting on 4/17. Mandy seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Next, we have the acceptance of the previous expenditures.
Will you pass those down? One of the items that they're passing to you guys right now is the actual up-to-date current child nutrition fund. Because, we've always been fighting that being behind, but as of today, when we looked at it, we're actually in the positive for about $6,000. So I want to make sure, because when we printed this off, that what you're seeing now, it still shows us in that negative 45,000. Now, we're still going to be close to that. We'll still have probably a little bit of a negative there, but I know we looked at it the same time last year, our child nutrition was sitting at negative $77,104. And we're, a year from ago, and now we're sitting even. But again, we still have some time to go, and the salaries are going to still kind of raise that into a negative. But again, they're doing really good there. The negatives that you see on our 1,000, 2,000s and all that is still federal money. That again just comes in slow when it gets here. So we're still looking forward to that coming in, so the negatives will not be there.
And you said the food was positive, 6,000?
Yeah, I think right now, yeah, that's right around 6,000. So, well, actually, it's 6,483.93.
Anybody have any other questions on the previous expenditures?
shout out to everybody that.
Yeah, everybody's doing good. Just gotta keep it up.
I'll make a motion we accept the approved.
Second.
All right, I make a motion to accept the previous expenditures as presented, made and seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Moving to the administrative report from Coach Green.
Special presentation.
All right.
So we've got two presentations, both retirement presentations. So we'll start off with Miss Patsy. So here in just a second, Miss Patsy, if you'll come up here, we'll get a picture of you in a plaque. But today we honor someone who has dedicated her entire, I believe, 31-year career.
33 and a half.
33 and a half. 33 and a half. In all of those in Carlisle School District. Patsy's loyalty, compassion, and quiet strength have been a steady force in our schools for more than 3 decades. She has poured her heart into this community and into the lives of the students and staff she's touched along the way. Ms. Patsy, we thank you for your years of faithful service and for the example you set for all of us. We wish you were a retirement filled with joy, relaxation, and everything that you love the most. And you're still going to come around and help us with the gate. If that's what you still want to help.
She's gonna help in the cafeteria too.
Oh, even better. So this says, presented to Ms. Patsy Calvert with appreciation. We thank you for your many years of dedication and service to education in the Carlisle School District. So we'll help you. Thank you, Ms. Patsy.
It's been 60 years since I've had a job. Wow. Or you can say 73, because when I was 5, I started chopping cotton.
Oh, wow.
But I'm not looking for a cotton.
Don't wanna go there.
Well, you deserve it, Miss Patsy.
Thank you for all you've done. I've enjoyed it.
You've been a blessing in my life, I know.
The next is Miss Judy Scroggins, and that 33 and a half sounds like a long time, but Miss Judy has kind of blown that away, I believe. I've got 40 years, is that correct? 41. So today we celebrate a truly remarkable milestone, Miss Judy Scroggins' retirement after 41 incredible years, 25 in district, is that right? Or 27? So 27 in district. So Judy's impact on this district, our students and our coworkers, is immeasurable. Her steady presence, deep care, and unwavering commitment has shaped countless lives, and her legacy will continue to be felt for years to come. Judy, we thank you for giving so much of yourself to this work in this community. We wish you nothing but the best, joy, and the rest of your ventures in well-earned retirement. So congratulations. And I will say this, and I want to make sure the board hears this, Miss Judy is an integral piece to that elementary grade going from a D to a B.
Oh,
Yes.
So Ms. Judy, if you'll come up here. So it says, presented to Ms. Judy Scroggins with appreciation. We thank you for your many years of dedication and service to education in the Carlisle School District. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Here's this thing too.
Jeremy back there. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Miss Judy.
Thank you, Miss Judy.
Thank y'all.
Are we supposed to leave?
You can if you want, or you can, more than welcome to stay.
American Idol is gonna.
Sorry, guys. I
Got
didn't
time
find
to
out.
start singing, right?
Thank y'all.
We appreciate y'all very much.
We appreciate you,
See y'all.
ladies.
We appreciate
Okay.
y'all.
Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Rose.
Man,
Thank
thank you.
See you later.
Get off his trains here.
went down these zebra ones the other day.
Oh, my
I
gosh.
Rock will not paint the trees.
cannot see anything.
They were, they're like,
At least, oh, they're behind.
I'm gonna wait on
Oh, yeah.
Adam to come back in.
they're handy now.
Did Rock pull the FedEx truck out?
They were-
FedEx
I
truck?
don't know if they, I guess they put one in there and all around.
But I asked you, I was in the lift truck, I couldn't pull it out. So I texted your Brock and I said, can you pull it out? So I didn't know if you ever did.
He probably didn't, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, next.
All right, we'll move into the administrative report with Coach Smith.
Start off with, had a graduation on Sunday at 3 o'clock at Bison Arena. I guess Megan, you're the only new one we have, so we'll just always meet out in the front of the parking lot, and we'll have that door open, you guys can come through that way. And I guess we've always gotten a picture before, I think, it's always been kind of nice getting done, so. We have that, and athletic banquet is tomorrow in Bison Arena, and our last day of school is this Friday. The gym area, I want to make sure we touch on that because of graduation. So Mr. Jason and Mr. Charles have been working on that. The south unit is working, which is the one that was out forever. Again, it's not in ideal condition, but it's the one that's actually in best shape right now. The north unit is having some serious issues. There's 3 compressors on it out. There's 3 electrical boards that have gone bad. Basically, Mr. Jason has wired around those things and has got what do you call those? A thermostat that's hooked up to the unit outside, so the thermostat on the inside is not even working. But the other day we walked in and it was 68 degrees inside the gym. So that's pretty cold. We've actually kind of got it turned off a little bit now, just to kind of, so it's not trying to run because they're on their last leg to say the least. But as of right now, we're going to have good air in there tomorrow night for the athletic banquet as well as graduation. So with that, I got Jason looking right now for to replace 1 or 2 units because I think that's probably going to be coming down the line. He's looking for quotes on that. The problem that we're having right now is getting even quotes are pretty hard right now because parts and materials are non-existent. So that's one update there. I want to talk about the total balance, which is at the end of April. At the end of April last school year, we had spent just in April last school year, we had spent $843,651. This school year, at the end of April, we've spent $712,171, which is $131,480 less. Year-to-date expenditures, but at the end of April, we have spent $861,895 less than what we did at the end of April last year, going to that distance. Child nutrition update. We talked about how we do have finally kind of some light at the end of the tunnel there. But expenditure for 2023 at the end of April, they spent $49,448. This year, at the end of April, we spent $48,314. So total expenditures on the year for this school year is $417,281. Total expenditures at the end of April last year was $516,019, which is $98,738 less money spent. We've revenued this month $45,132 in child nutrition. Last April, they revenued $10,485, and I went and looked because that's a pretty big discrepancy. I went and looked, and best I could see is they didn't get their reimbursement back during that month, so it's going to be on next month's reimbursement, so the numbers will be a little different next month. So far, revenue to date, we revenued $373,482. Year to date last year, $324,595. So we've revenued at our child nutrition $48,887 more this school year. Reimbursements, this is the big thing for us, is we've always tried to, and she's done a great job of trying to make sure our reimbursement is more than our food cost. This April, our food cost was $35,717. and we reimbursed $45,714, which is a positive of $9,997. April of 2024, we had a food cost of $53,001. That number is very high, but in April of last school year, we had a unit or a cooler go out, and we lost all the food. So that's the month that it was so much. The reimbursement last school year was $41,118, and obviously there's going to be a negative there because of the cost. But the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about is you got a sheet that looks like this up on the ledge. This is just kind of an overview. It kind of gives you a picture graph. Ms. Consuela printed this off. Oh yeah, she's going to put it on the board too. That way, if you want to see it up there too. But you can kind of look at it. So you can look at the top line on the right there. You can see in salaries, and you can go, it's got year 21, year 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. And again, those numbers that you see in 24, 23, 21 are all full year numbers. You can see just in salary right there, last year we spent $4,934,000. Right now, with 3 months left, we're at $3,192,099. You know, we're not going to come close to that $4 million mark in salaries. We should be right around the $4 million mark, so we should still be quite lower than what we paid out in salaries last year. You can see again where benefits are lower going into the last 3 months, and then professional tech services, all the stuff you see there, we're trending in the right direction. So you can see those are some good things that's nice to see. Again, we got to continue to trend, go in those directions. But this is something that you can look at, ask questions about if you need to. You can call me or whatever. But it shows you again a good trend of where we're at and where we're going. So again, these are some good numbers, and the lines are going in the right direction. So keep looking forward to continuing on and doing the things that we need to do to make sure we're financially stable. The only other thing I have is, it's in your packet. I don't know exactly where it's in your packet, but it's all the list of items that Jason and Charles did over the last month, of things that they've been doing.
Is it this?
Yeah. It's kind of weird because he gives me long legal pad sheets and I have to shorten them up. So if it's not in your packet, it's on the desk right there somewhere. It might be just on the desk. Like I said, it's been a crazy day today. We had to change a lot of things throughout the day. Ms. Beverly's been over here working all day, so she's been trying to get everything accomplished and get it all in stack. So, and literally we changed, part of that stuff that we talked about right before we came over here. So, you can see the things that they're working on and getting things done. One of the big things that we're going to do this summer is obviously looking at air conditioners, and then also still looking at the roof of the gym about what he's going to do about we're probably going to try to get an adjuster out to see if we can maybe get lucky and see if we can get some damage of some sort before he starts working on that. And also with the tennis courts, we're going to him and Mr. Charles are going to repaint the parking lot to where we don't have traffic jams, because right now the tennis courts have taken over where they go in and out down there on the east side of the gym there. So we're going to repaint those and make sure traffic flows correctly. So that's what I have. Any other questions?
Is the fencing project completed?
The only thing we have left is we're waiting on them to get the parts in to put the motors and stuff in to get that automatically set up, and then Jason will run electric to it, and then it'll be ready to go.
Shout out to Ms. Beverly for our decoration tonight.
Yeah, she did the Cinco de Mayo thing.
Did they ever get those lights on the northwest corner of the property? It's still dug up and stuff.
He's still trying, so that's been a really, really big pain in our side, because none of us can find the actual original drawings of the electric. Like, we can't find that, so he's still trying to find all that, and then he's trying to find lines, but then also try to do everything else that he needs to do. But no, it's definitely on his radar. It's just right now, it seems like every time he gets some free moments, something comes out. But I'm glad you mentioned that though, because I do want to say that, Ben Wilson has been mowing, and they've been doing a really good job. They're edging a lot for us, so they're doing a really good job too on that end too. So I want to make sure I tell them that. So.
All right, thank you, Coach. Ms. Coleman with the Treasury report.
Okay, if you guys will look at your, on the second page of your detailed statement of changes, number 60, 65, 62, child care, wages, stabilization. Okay, that's $52,521 sitting there. So what we're looking to do is take care of those negatives that are in our preschool, looking to transfer this over to do that, and then possibly using that money as, the remainder of that money to build an awning with. So, and we need to utilize this money because I was talking to some other bookkeepers, and they are starting to remove a lot of these funds, so we need to use it before they take it away from us.
Where's the awning gonna be?
On the pre-K,
Right.
because that money is designated only for preschool.
Preschool.
And then we're also gonna be looking at that other $17,489 as well, to see what we can do with that with preschool. So maybe we could probably buy some more playground equipment or something that they need along those lines. But anything to help cover negatives is a great thing. So, and he did talk to you guys about the food service. So, like he said, we're trending in the right direction with that. And if you can see the revenue brought in on the CDs in the 2000s. So you have that 1181 for our big one, which is the 2006 one. And then 582.63 for your 2005. And then the 2002 CD, $531.40. So, again. So that's pretty much all I have at this moment. Softball revenue, $14,806.97. So they're bringing in some good revenue with the games and then donations. Tennis had a nice donation as well, so their revenue was $65.59.75.
That on tennis, that's the money to be used for the
Yeah.
new
of
tennis
course.
court.
They'll start playing
Paints and all.
summer.
Will the tennis court be there at the same place?
It'll be, so the one with the blue, they'll be side by side. And then they're putting another practice court right north of that, but it's not gonna take up parking. So we'll have two blue courts once they get finished with that. But that's all, that's what she's talking about, what Mr. Whitney talked about that has been donated to take care of the cost of all that.
Right now, that's all I have. We should be receiving the money also for those fencing. So that 48,000 for high school, I think it was, and it was a little over
I think 44 for high school and 40 some, or 4,000.
4,000, like 4,800 for elementary.
It looks good.
I know, it looks, yeah.
We've already got those bills in, so as soon as we get those out, then we should be receiving those funds, because I know they warehouse everything over the weekend, so hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we'll be receiving those funds.
I'm sorry. 44 was the total amount, but we spent 25,000.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll
Right,
get
the
all
total,
that total
yes,
back. Yeah.
yes.
Well, Ms. Coleman, thank you so much for all your hard work. All right. Coach Rowland with the elementary update.
Well, as you know, this is our last week of school here. We've been extremely busy the last couple of weeks, finishing up all of our testing. I think we finally have everyone tested that we need to. There at the elementary, we've spent a lot of time in finishing up and going to our field trips that we've been blowing and going everywhere. If you guys would like to get CDL, I think that Mr. Blake could use you guys, especially this time of year. And then I think we still have a few more to go this week. as far as the park days go. Fifth and sixth, unfortunately, got rained out today. They were looking forward to that. They had their Bahama shirts on, short shorts, and ball caps, and all the garb ready to go out there, and then it just would not quit raining. And so teachers have tried to ease them on the inside, and only had one injury today, so I think that's a win. So, and she was still smiling after it, so I think everything was good with that. May 13th is our end of the year academic awards for first and second, and also third through fifth. Kindergarten, of course, will be at their graduation. And sixth grade end of the year awards will be, of course, at their graduation. But again, the 13th end of the year academic awards for third, fourth, and fifth grade. That'll start at 9 o'clock in the cafeteria. And then in the afternoon, we'll have first and second, and that will start at 1:30. May 14th is our kindergarten graduation, and that'll be at 9 o'clock. You guys are more than welcome to come.
When's the
That's always fun. May 14th, the Wednesday,
Oh, okay.
at 9 in the cafeteria. And then the following day at 9 will be the sixth grade graduation. And then the 16th will be our last day. So,
Thank you, Coach Rowland.
yes,
So
sir.
do, Ms. August, she had a sick kid at home, so at the high school, she's got her AP testing, going on this week. APUSH is May 9th, so that was last week, but tomorrow is AP Pre-Cal, and then tomorrow also is AP Environmental Science, and on the 14th is AP English. Again, athletic banquets tomorrow at 6 o'clock, Bison Arena. Retirement party for Miss Patsy and Don Tanksley is Wednesday, May 14th
Oh,
at
there's-
3:45.
Those both together, I was gonna
Yeah,
ask that,
we're
okay.
doing both together. And Miss Donna will have a presentation like we did today for Miss Donna
Okay.
next month. It was too late to get the plaque in.
Okay.
Again, graduation at 3 o'clock Sunday. Class of 2026 already getting started. Senior pictures were today. End of the year checkouts. She wants everybody to know that working on professional development for teachers for the summer to work for next year. Congratulations to Coach Golden, Coach Sled, Coach Two, and Coach Cawthon on their baseball and softball seasons. Lots of hard work throughout the off-season and season. Track is currently at the state track meet. I know we do have one state champion, that was Isaiah Powell. He won the 110-meter hurdles. So congratulations to him. And I know we've had, and I think Evan Webb finished second to Isaiah in that, so that was really neat. And I think I saw Coach mention Kirsten Taylor had got a second and a third and some things too. And then another one, last thing here, Arkansas Seal of Biliteracy recognizes Arkansas high school students who have studied and attained proficiency in English and one more other language. It is awarded to Arkansas Foreign Language Teachers Association, and the Arkansas Teachers of English to speakers of other languages, and has been a collaborative effort between both organizations, K-12 teachers, university faculty, and members of the community. In June 2018, the Arkansas State Board of Education officially endorsed the Arkansas Seal of Biliteracy. We have 10 students who have been awarded the Arkansas Seal of Biliteracy, and they are Dalia Castillo, Armando Reyes, Belinda Delgado, Ariana Reyes, Catherine Reyes, Isaac King, Israel King, Andy Rubio, and Jimmy Chan, and Zigrid Nunez. So congratulations to those kids. So that's what Ms. Alkis had.
All right, thank you, Coach. At this time, if no one has any other questions regarding the building reports, we'll move into executive session at 6:29.
been doing that stuff.
Right.
It's almost at the same time, there's somebody waiting for you to slip on this.
Ready?
All right, we will return from executive session at 6:50. First thing, we're moving to personnel and resignations, retirements, classified.
All right, classify, the first one, I'm gonna recommend that you approve the resignation of Taylor Prislowski as an elementary paraprofessional effective at the end of the 2024-25 school year.
Motion.
I second the motion.
All right, Whitney made a motion to accept the resignation of Taylor Prislowski as an elementary paraprofessional effective at the end of the 24-25 school year. Ms. Sherry seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Next, got another retirement here of a long working employee for us. I want to recommend you approve the retirement of Donna Tanksley as a high school sped paraprofessional effective at the end of the 2024-25 school year. Ms. Tanksley's been a loyal employee for CHS over the past 10+ years, and we will definitely miss her.
Motion.
Second.
All right, Adam made a motion to accept the resignation and retirement of Ms. Donna Tanksley as a high school sped paraprofessional effective at the end of the 24-25 school year. Megan seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Moving to certified.
Next, we have, I'm going to recommend you approve the resignation of Ms. Brooke Bray as an elementary teacher effective at the end of the 24-25 school year. Ms. Bray took a job in Des Arc, that's where she currently resides at, and Des Arc hired her up from us, so.
Motion.
Second.
All right, Adam made a motion to accept the resignation of Ms. Brooke Bray as elementary teacher effective at the end of the 24-25 school year. Mandy seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Next, I'm going to recommend you approve the resignation of Miss Alexis Gillum as the elementary teacher effective at the end of the 24-25 school year. Ms. Gillum has been recently gotten pregnant, and she's looking forward to spending some time at home away from the profession with her kids. So I'm going to recommend you again approve that resignation of Alexis Gillum.
I'll make the motion.
I second.
All right, I made a motion to accept the resignation of Ms. Alex Gillum as the elementary teacher effective at the end of the 24-25 school year. Ms. Sherry seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Next, I'm going to recommend you approve the resignation of Gage Coffin as a high school teacher and coach effective at the end of the 24-25 school year. Coach Coffin has been hired by P. Ridge as an assistant football and I believe assistant track. Big thing for Coach Coffin, and we're happy for him because it is his hometown. He's going there. He's going to get to coach under his coach that coached him at high school, Coach Travis, who's a very, very good football coach and well known around the state. Coach Coffin's been a valuable asset to our athletic program, had some good years under him, and I think he's going to do nothing but flourish under that leadership up there at P. Ridge. And I promise you, I would not be too shocked if in the next 4, 5, 10 years or so, you'll see Coach Coffin as a head football coach. So.
Motion.
Second.
All right, Whitney made the motion to accept the resignation of Gage Coffin as a coach and high school teacher effective at the end of the 24-25 school year. Mandy seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Lastly, I'm going to recommend you approve the retirement of Jason Golden as a high school teacher and coach effective at the end of the 24-25 school year. There's absolutely no doubt that our softball program is better off, our athletic program is better off. He's put our softball program on the map over the last several years as a head coach. But in his own words, he said it's time for him to be a grandpa, a father, and a husband. So who can argue with those words? So I'm going to recommend that you approve the retirement of Jason Golden.
I make the motion.
Second.
All right, Mandy made a motion to accept the retirement of Jason Golden as coach and high school teacher effective at the end of the 24-25 school year. Megan seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Moving to new hires and classified.
All right, new hires on classified. I'm going to recommend that you approve an offer of acceptance to Sunny Evans as an elementary paraprofessional for the 2025-26 school year. So with her, she's going to be moving out of the elementary office and into an actual paraprofessional role where she's going to be in there with students and teachers every day, so.
Motion. Second.
All right, William made a motion to approve the offer and acceptance of Ms. Sunny Evans as elementary paraprofessional effective for the 25-26 school year. Mr. Adams seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Moving to certified hires.
All right, certified hires, as sad as we are to mention that Coach Cawthon's leaving us, as excited as I am to say that I want to recommend that you approve an offer of acceptance to Mr. B.J. Harrison as a high school teacher and coach on a 220-day contract for the 2025-26 school year. Coach Harrison's coming to us from Sylvan Hills High School. Previously, he coached at Maumelle High School as well. He was the offensive coordinator at Hazen the year they won the state championship, and he went from Maumelle to Hazen to Sylvan Hills, and now coming here. He already lives here in town. Lives right over here by the football field. He's excited. He's got a great attitude, and he's ready to work. I'll just put it very clearly. So you know, I know three coaches that he worked under in previous positions, and I talked to two of them. One of them, for without a doubt, I trust with anything I have, any of my kids or anything like that. And his exact words were, I won't say exactly what his exact words were, but he basically called me an idiot if I didn't hire him. And this is a guy that I would trust to do anything and everything for me. So he worked under him at Maumelle. He was the head football coach at Maumelle, and Coach Harrison worked underneath him. So I'm truly excited to hire him as the OC, and he'll be also an assistant baseball coach. But again, I want to recommend you approve an offer of acceptance to B.J. Harrison.
Motion.
I second.
All right, Megan made a motion to approve the offer and acceptance to B.J. Harrison as high school teacher and coach with an extended day contract for 220 days effective for the 25-26 school year. Ms. Sherry seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. We're moving to new business.
All right, the first item we have is the school choice. I'm going to read these numbers off to you real quick. So what we have, and this is in your packet, she put it in there, Mr. Beverly put it in there for us. We have 6 kids coming into district, and you can see that 4 of the 6 are coming in from pre-K. So again, our pre-K program is doing a really good job of getting outside students into the school district. So I want to thank Miss Lindsay and the ladies over there, all of her teachers. There's a lot of them. I don't want to miss anybody, but I know Miss Tammy, Miss Eunice, Miss Nicole, Miss who else we got? I knew if I started. Miss Raper,
Heather.
Miss Heather Phillips, yeah, or not
Myra-
Phillips now.
Marcy.
Miss Myra Sue, yeah, I think that's it. Miss Lindsay, I think that's about all of them, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so, got to thank all those, and also Miss Michaela Frazier, who was here earlier, our HIPPY director, so she's done a good job getting those kids in there as well. So, if you look at the list of students leaving our district, we have a total there of 12 on your list. But if you look down here at the very bottom, those 2 names right there, they were already at Lone Oak. So you're going to take it down to 10 right there. And then there's 1 name on this list that is most likely going to stay here. So that's going to be another one that you can take off. So we're around 9. And then we have, let's see. So we only have 1, 2, 3 total kids that are leaving our district to go to another district. And by that I mean that we're actually in school at Carlisle this school year that's going to go to another district. Now, we have several there that's going to go to pre-K, or excuse me, going to go to kindergarten. Again, they were not in our district, so they're not hurting our numbers that we currently have, but obviously they are hurting our numbers that we could have. So hopefully there is a couple of students that are going over that their parents moved in from out of state. Their youngest daughter is going to start kindergarten, so we're getting one of those. So again, 6 in, and I want to say probably 6 out, so we're really breaking even there. You know, obviously we want to go better and go in the other direction, but it's not as bad as what it looks like on paper, so we're not too upset about it, but I'm going to recommend that you approve the list of students using school choice to come into our and out of our district.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All right, I made a motion to approve the list of school choice students in and out of the district for the 25-26 school year. Megan seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Pre-K.
Pre-K tuition rate increase. We have not raised anything with our pre-K since it's been open. I'm going to recommend that you approve the pre-K tuition rate increase of $100. So basically it will go from $250 to $350 for the paid pre-K class. And that's going to help us, because currently right now we're not making enough money with that paid class to pay for our employees that we're paying to work there. So I'm going to ask to increase $100. I didn't want to increase it too much because obviously I think our pre-K program is doing a really good job of bringing kids in. And I wanted to be competitive to the surrounding districts. So I want to recommend that you approve that pre-K tuition rate increase of $100 from $250, excuse me, from $250 to $350 for the 24-25 school year.
And that's per month, correct?
Per month, yes.
25-26 year.
Yeah.
The
25-26 school year, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, I might have messed up.
I make a motion.
I second.
Sherry made a motion to approve the increase for pre-K tuition from $250 to $350 effective for the 25-26 school year. Mandy seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
I've mentioned to you guys that it's been a crazy day. This is just another one of those crazinesses that we had happen today, which is our Chromebook purchase. Always try to get 3 quotes on any kind of big expenditures. We've been waiting on our last quote. Mr. Fowler has been patiently waiting on this quote.
And this is not even the company that was the third quote. I went with another
Yeah.
company.
So the original quote we were going to go with was from Chromebookparts.com, and it was at $26,449. Well, we got this new one in today called Tech to School, and it is $27,539. It's a little bit more. But the key to this new quote is they go out, the Chromebook's life expectancy goes out in 2033 versus the one that was at 26 goes out in 2031. So we're going to get 2 more years of life expectancy and being able to test on these Chromebooks, if I'm understanding that correctly.
Assuming they survive kids.
Yes, well, that's always assuming. But I'm going to recommend that you approve the purchase of 90 Chromebooks and license from Tech to School in the amount of $27,539.10.
Does that come with support? Is that what that 60-month support term, like technical support on it?
Mr. Fowler, you're going to have to help us on that
I'm
one.
gonna have to see the quote.
Oh, you don't have it?
I don't have it with me.
It just says, yeah, the Chrome Enterprise upgrade, Google Chrome, operating system management service only, perpetual license term, 60 months. It's the second item description.
Oh, I hear 60 months.
That's
So that's just for the licenses for the computers themselves.
Okay.
Okay.
Do they come with any sort of?
They come with a year warranty.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we accept the purchase of the Chromebooks.
Second.
All right, I made a motion to approve the purchase of 90 Chromebooks and licenses at a price of $27,539.10 from, what is it, Tech to School. Whitney seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. CD account.
All right, this next one is our CD account, number 2006. You know, we started the school year out knowing that we were going to have to use some CD money to put back into, well, we call it putting back into our operating budget. The state shows the CDs as operating money, so the states, we're just moving the money out of where it's already at. So I'm gonna recommend that you approve cashing out the CD in order to finish out the school year between $600,000 and $700,000. Ms. Coleman and I are still very pleased that this should be the last CD that we have to do anything with, which would leave us with 2 CDs, and we'll combine those for a whole CD. That'll be $332,000. We'll combine those two to make one and still gain that interest off of that. But again, we are almost 100% sure that we'll finish around that mark with this CD without having to touch any of the other 2 CDs or the building fund. And, like I said, we had a pretty big deficit we had to cut into, so if you'd told me where we're at right here at the end of the school year, at the beginning of the school year, I'd take it all day long. So I'm going to recommend that you approve that, moving that CD and cashing it out.
Motion.
Sorry.
Megan made a motion to approve removing the CD account 2006 in the amount of $309,577.68 as liquid cash that can be moved into our general operating fund. Whitney seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
All right, the last action item is really just for you guys. The new law states that we have to have 4 or 6 year board member terms. And with that, elections will only be on even years. And I'll go over in non-action items kind of where everybody's terms look at and how that's going to work out. But you guys have to decide if you want to do a 4-year term or a 6-year term. And these terms will go into effect the next time you are reelected. So, for example, let's go, Jeremy, you come and run in 2026 and y'all voted to do a 4-year term. That 4-year term would start with him, for his 4-year term would start in 2026. If y'all vote to do a 6-year term, that means his 2026 will be the start of his 6-year term. So again, that's got to be something that y'all vote on if you want to do a 4 or a 6. I do think, I'll say this with knowing how we can. So basically, if we do a 4-year term, this is kind of how it will be. We're a 7-member board size. We'll have 3 seats up for election in 26, and we'll have 4 seats up for election in 2028, and that will rotate every 2 years. So every 4th year we got 2, or we'll have 3. Every 6th year, I guess what it would be, we'd have 4 members up. If you do 6-year terms with a 7-member, we'd have 2026 would have 2 seats open. 2028, we'd have 2 seats open. In 2030, we'd have 3 seats open. And again, that's just going to cycle every 3 years. So it'd be 2, 2, and 3. With a 6-year, with a 4-year, it would be 3, 4 every 4 years. I don't want to. It's got to be y'all's vote, but I don't know the answer to tell you guys. I mean, as a board and as a superintendent, I've talked to several superintendents. I know several are asking their board to do 6 years because it's less turnover. Now again, I guess it's always when you have turnover, you just don't ever know what's going to happen. But again, I think that has to come from you guys. But we just have to have that vote to decide, and then go from there. So.
All right, discussion. What is y'all's discussion on that? 6 for you?
It takes time to kind of get used to it,
Mr. Megan, what's your thoughts on this?
I would lean towards the 6-year just for that experience piece of it and stuff too, because by the time you're on, if you're newly elected, or by the time you're on at 6 years, you know what you want to do, but yeah.
There's pluses and minuses.
Either way.
Yeah.
4 keeps a good term over, those who are wanting to serve or, wanting to contribute. Either way.
You don't
Good with whatever. I mean, you're on a 5 now.
Yeah.
What's 4, what's 6? I mean,
Yeah.
it's really-
Before it goes up fast.
I mean,
Yeah, it does.
Probably depending on how old your kids are, and all that is, a 6 would probably make more sense in my opinion. Just because, like you said, the experience and learning.
I mean, if we went, I mean, obviously gotta pick one, what is there,
What Sherry, what do you think?
what's the opportunity to change it? Or is there an opportunity? It has to be either 4 or 6.
It's gotta be 4 or 6
So you
now.
pick, so say we go with 4,
But I don't know if what you're, are you
Yeah.
asking like later down the road, we wanna change it to 6?
yeah.
I don't know, cause there's nothing in
That-
policy
that
right
address
now.
that, Yeah.
I guess my only thought would be trying to convince somebody new
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to run in your position. 6 is a big commitment, a bigger commitment than 4.
4.
But that is, I mean, it's like Whitney said, 5 is a big commitment, 4 is a big commitment. You gotta be all in.
I don't know if the term matters, if anybody's gonna beat down the door to necessarily.
No, that's right,
Yeah.
that's right. So, but it sounds like, majority is 6, so,
46, I think.
so we'll go with 6 if that's what you all like.
What did Brandon think?
I've not talked to Brandon about it, so.
What did Brandon think?
Talked to him today.
Will somebody have to make a motion on it?
Yeah, we'll have to do a vote.
Yeah.
I think Brandon was at 6. Don't hold me to that, but I spoke with Brandon because he had to go to the track meet. We spoke about what we were gonna be doing today. But I'm pretty sure he was at 6.
I make a motion for 6-year, terms for board members.
I'll second the motion.
All right, Megan made a motion to approve the 6-year board member terms effective March 26th election cycle. And Sherry seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
All right. The last item is a non-action item, and it is just kind of where our board member terms are with the new law. So currently, I'm just going to kind of go through these with you guys. So currently, Jeremy Carter, your expiration is fall of 2029. By the new law, you would come up in March of 2028. Brandon Parker is at fall of 26. By the new law, he comes up March of 26. Or excuse me, Brandon's term expires fall of 26. Now he'll come up in spring of 26. Ms. Sherry Crouch, fall of 2025, and you're going to push back to the spring of 26. Whitney Jones, fall of 29, you'll be in the spring of 2028. Ms. Mandy Brewer, you're also in the fall of 25, you'll move to the spring of 26. Adam Ellis, fall of 27, will move to the spring of 26. Ms. Megan Perkins is filling in for Debbie Reed's position, fall of 27, will move to spring of 26. Now, that puts us at 5 members in 26. So I know the first thing we had to do was vote on 6-year terms. So we know that. So now I'm going to get in touch with ASBA and the Election Commission and see if we can get some faster response time, because we're still waiting to figure out how we need to set that up. So I'm hoping by saying that because ASBA sent this out, I'm hoping by looking at this, and I don't know what to do with it.
The end of May is
There
not
it is.
meeting from the election.
So I'm assuming this tells us that we will have now, since we're done 6-year terms, we will have 2 seats up in the 2026 election.
Then I'll be,
Huh?
Me and Mandy.
Well, so with that, because there should be 5 seats up by looking at it. So what we'll have to do is draw names to see who the 2 are, and then have to draw names to see who the 2 is going to go out in 2028, and then have to draw names for who's going to be the 3 that's going to go out in 2030. Now, that's still up in air in policy, so once I find that out 100%, I will definitely get that back with all of you. And like I said, right now,
Would the 5 not run all at the same, like in 26, because the terms expire, and then you would draw lots for a 2-year term, 4-year term, or 6-year term to stagger those?
I mean, I know.
That's how I read, that's how I interpreted that, the law or what
Well,
the,
that might be what it ended up being, it's just they've not put out any, and they're kind of telling everybody to wait before you do anything, just because
because
there's
you can't,
been
because
no
you can't
policy put out.
extend a term based on like that expiration, but
Yeah,
in
it's
order
gotta
to
be
get it.
before.
Yeah, but in order to get it staggered,
Yeah.
and then I think anyone that might be in an appointed seat, you would serve until the next election. That's how that appointed seat would, it's not the term,
Yeah,
but until the next election.
yeah. So,
Cause that's the only way you get that in that rotation
I
like you
know,
need
it's gonna
to.
be crazy. But, once we get finalized and 100% policy on that, I'll come back with you guys on that. But we know right now we're going to a 6-year term. So, other than that, once we figure out how to stagger that officially, we'll come back and convene on that one. That's all we got.
Is this bill you have in here, is it regarding that?
That's the bill that's in your packet is the bill for
Is the act that,
the act,
that
yeah.
happened.
All right, anybody have any other questions, comments?
Motion to adjourn.
All
I
right,
second the motion.
at 7:16, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.